Good morning, my awesome and beautiful children. And today is Friday. Yes, today is Friday. And today we are going to be reviewing social studies, okay? So please open your social studies book on page 311. Ready? The topic is Russia and the Eurasian republics. Okay, let's start. Please look at this map. Okay? Look at the north, at the south of Russia. Do you recognize these names? Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. Yes? I hope you do. We are going to be reviewing what we already saw on the last 2 weeks that we were together. Okay? Here I put some landscapes of Russia so you can admire the beautiful architecture. Okay, let's start. Russia and the Eurasian republics take up about 1/6 of the land surface of the entire Earth. Look at this map. It's a world map. Look at the dimension of Russia. It's big, right? That's why it takes up about 1/6 of the land surface of the entire Earth. Look. Russia is the largest country in the world in total area. The Eurasian republics lie south of Russia. Do you remember that I was asking you to watch, to take a look at the south, at the north and the south? Okay. And here you can see them closer. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. The republics in the Caucasus Mountains are Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. Those in Central Asia include Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Now we are going to talk about the natural barriers. Plains or large areas of level ground cover much of the region. The Ural Mountains separate the northern European plain from the West Siberian plain. The very large plains are called steppes. Much of this land is good for agriculture and grazing. Oceans and mountains separate Russia from its neighbors. Okay, I want to talk a little more about this. Okay, Russia has oceans on its northern and eastern borders and mountainous areas along much of its southern border. Okay? The deserts and mountains of Central Asia keep republics such as Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan isolated. What is isolated? Well, cut off, okay, from other countries. About half the land in Russia is so cold that it has permafrost or permanently frozen ground beneath it. Yes? Okay. Some parts in Russia can reach 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, and large areas of Central Asia are desert. Most of the population lives in the western part of the region. Why? Because of these extremes, most of the population lives in the western part of the region where the climate is not as harsh, okay? Yes, imagine. Or it's cold or it is really hot. So you cannot live that way, right? The northern boundary of Russia is a coastal plain along the Arctic Ocean with no natural barriers to keep out Arctic winds. The high latitudes and the Arctic winds help bring this region long, dark, and snowy winters. For about 1 month each winter, there has hardly any daylight in the city. Okay, imagine that. Climate and vegetation. The climate affects the types of vegetation that grow in different areas, like the tundra or flat land found in Arctic and subarctic regions exist in Siberia, which lies in central and eastern Russia. Here, only small plants can grow. Why? Because the permafrost prevents most trees from growing because their roots can't spread deep under the ground. Extremes in temperature and moisture make it hard for some areas to be used for agriculture. Farming is concentrated in the fertile soils of the western plains and steppes. Look, here I look for some pictures of Russian winters. Look. As you can see, Russia has a very extreme weather. Okay, now we are going to talk about the natural resources. Okay, Russia and the Eurasian republics have plentiful energy resources, especially oil and natural gas. But Russia is also a leading coal producer. Russia also has large amounts of peat, which is very old, decayed plant material. It is burned like coal. Some rivers in Russia provide hydroelectric power to generate electricity. Okay, these resources, the coal, the natural gas, and the oil, are non-renewable fossil fuels. Okay, they cannot reproduce quickly enough to keep pace with their use. Yes, remember that, please. The three non-renewable fossil fuels in Russia. Okay, it also contains mineral resources. Okay, the region contains large quantities of mineral resources. We are going to talk a little bit about that. The region contains large quantities of mineral resources like iron, aluminum, gold, copper, platinum, uranium, cobalt, and chrome. Okay, much of the region's resources are in remote or hard to reach locations like Siberia. It contains oil fields, hydroelectric power sources, and minerals such as nickel and gold. But the permafrost there makes it difficult to drill or mine and transport them to market. Diamonds are found in some mines in Siberia. So as you can see, Russia is a very, very rich country, right? Yes, almost 20% of the world's reserves of iron ore are located in the region. That is amazing, right? What is the iron ore? The iron ore is used to produce iron and steel, and that material is used in the construction of the roads, the railways, and the buildings. Okay? Now, we are going to talk about this woman. I hope that you remember about her. Exploring Siberian lakes. Katie Walter Anthony is an explorer who studies how climate change is affecting Siberia and possibly the entire world. Anthony and other scientists believe that because of global warming, the permafrost below its lakes is thawing, releasing carbon that was locked inside the frozen ground. Carbon is formed from dead prehistoric animals and the plants they ate. The carbon is then turned into methane, a natural gas that can have a negative impact on the environment. Methane is a greenhouse gas. It traps the sun's heat over the earth. It can cause the temperature to rise across the world higher and faster. To check for methane, she chops holes into the ice on the lakes to collect gas samples. She lights with a match, okay? She lights a match to see the size of the flame. If a giant flame shoots up, she knows she has found methane. I'm sorry. Okay, and finally, we were talking about the Aral Sea. I don't know if you remember this, but the main idea is that human activities have led to the shrinking of the Aral Sea, which has damaged the surrounding landscape. Okay, why? Why this happened? Who remembers? Well, it's kind of a very long story, but we are going to read these ideas. Major efforts to grow cotton led to the shrinking of the Aral Sea. The body of water is actually a saltwater lake. The Aral Sea was once the fourth largest lake in the world. Okay, but what happened? Well, as I already told you, the Aral Sea was once the fourth largest lake in the world, but now it is only a fraction of the size it was in 1960. Why? Because the rivers that fed the lake were redirected into canals for irrigation. And then pollution contributed to problems in the Aral Sea. People were using fertilizer and pesticides. Do you remember about this? Okay. So as the lake was shrinking, salt and pesticides destroyed the habitat of many plants and animals and threatened human health. Please look at this picture. This was in 1977. Then in 12 years later, look. 2006, oh my God, look at this. Okay. Once the lake was a thriving industry of fishing, and it was damaged. And there were some people that used to say that their fathers or grandparents used to be a fisherman. And then what happened? Look. So this is a very, very clear example of how humans can affect the landscapes. Human activities can affect and damage landscapes. Okay? I don't think that it's a possibility to undo the damage, but we can try to do our best to keep our planet the best as we can. Okay, so please, children, you are going to type in the comments the following words. Okay, numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. You are going to write something about the Russian landscape. Okay, something about the Russian landscape. I don't know. I gave you a lot of information. And numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, you are going to write something about the Russian climate that you liked. Okay? Very good. I love you with all my heart. I miss you a lot, but we are going to be able to see us soon. Okay? Kisses for you. Bye bye.